Eli, she mentioned Super Bowl wins. Can you talk to us about the mindset that you have going into those games?
I think going through a Super Bowl, you're prepared. You know this is the biggest game of your life, and you want to obviously do everything possible to work hard, to be ready, and just you never know how it's going to play out. It's going to be high scoring, low scoring, so you just take each series as it is. Try to make great decisions, put your team in a situation to win. And fortunately, in both Super Bowls, we had the ball with around 2 minutes left to go in the game with an opportunity to go win it. We were able to make the plays to go down there and get the win. This camp, 29 years, been doing this and coming to camp. Always a date in June. Get to be roommates with my dad and my two brothers for 4 days is always a thrill. Something I look forward to every year. Getting to come here and see all these new kids that want to get better at football. They're here because they have a passion of playing high school football. They want to help win more games and improve their skills. So happy to be here, coach them up, and just see the improvement that they make over these 3 days. And hopefully they continue that on the rest of the summer and have a great high school experience.
Eli, there's a new QB1 at your alma mater this year. What have you seen from Austin so far this week, and what are you looking forward to this season?
Yeah, I've been impressed with Austin. He was on the field yesterday. Got to coach him up a little bit. Got to hang with him last night and his dad and just get to know kind of him as a person. So, been impressed with everything I've seen up to this point, just how he's handled everything, how he played in the spring, how he played a little bit last year when he got some game time. So, he's a great kid. He worked really hard yesterday. He threw it well. And excited to have him here and get to know him and root him on in his career at Ole Miss.
Awesome, appreciate it. What makes Thibodeau so special to host the camp?
Well, I think just obviously owe so much to Nicholls State and what they do, providing these fields and the dorms and the hospitality, but also the town of Thibodeau and how everybody rallies around this weekend. And kind of opens the door and opens their arms to welcome here and be a part of this. That's a big part. We've been coming to Thibodeau for 20 years, so been a big part of our success and look forward to it every year.
Eli, when you look at Arch, kind of quarterback to quarterback, do you see any of yourself in him? Similar traits?
Arch is athletic. Arch is powerful. He's got this bigger frame. He's got a little better ability to scramble, to run. But I appreciate just how he's handled everything thrown at him. It could be a lot of pressure, a lot of expectations, but he's maintained to stay under the radar. Very disciplined in his work ethic and his habits and his diet and just is a sponge of wanting to learn more. And takes every opportunity to ask good questions, ask advice. He's great, around his teammates. He's great around the other quarterbacks here and has his buddies and his pals, and just proud of him how he's handled everything.
You obviously live with that as well, playing especially for your dad's alma mater. How hard is that? You guys seem to have a good handle on it, and everybody seems to know going in that that's what it's going to be, but what is that like?
I think it's just, you got to be yourself. You can't try to be someone else. You can't try to say, hey, I'm going to do this like Peyton, or I'm going to do it like my dad, or do it like Eli. You can't, you got to know what your personality is and be yourself, and I think Arch is very comfortable in his own skin. He has his way of doing things, his way of being a leader. I think he's a great teammate. He wanted to earn the respect of his teammates, of his coaches, through his hard work, through his dedication, and that's been obvious. So I think it's just about figuring out what's your way you're comfortable, and what's your way to you think you'll be successful.
I know you talked about Arch asked for advice. What's the best piece of advice you've ever given?
I think the best piece of advice I've ever given Arch is just try to throw it to the guys wearing the same color jersey you're wearing. If you do that, you got a chance.
And now, what's the best piece of advice that you've been given in your career?
Probably the same. I think it's just try to each and every year try to earn the respect of your teammates, and that's whether you're a rookie or you're a young guy and you're trying to earn the respect of veterans, or you're the veteran, you got young guys coming in. Hey, you got to pave the way through your hard work, through your commitment, and that is contagious. Hard work, commitment, dedication is contagious around the team. If they see you doing it, then they're going to follow along, and that's what builds a great community.
Eli, you attended this camp for a few years, so what was the biggest lesson that you took away from it, and what do you hope that these quarterbacks now attending take away from it heading into their careers?
I think as a camper, just the opportunity that there's 48 current college quarterbacks here as a camper to come in and get coached by these guys, but also take a moment. If you have a question, hey, talk through me the three-set draw. Hey, talk through me your idea on this type of defense or coverage. Take the opportunity to talk to them. Hey, how did you get your arm stronger in high school? What were some of the lifts or some of the throws and the drills? So just kind of go into the minds of some of these guys that have done it before, that are doing it in college. A lot of these high school kids want to get to college one day, so just having that opportunity. And I think it's the same for the college guys. They come, they talk to the other guys in college, how they're running offenses, how they're doing drills. Peyton and I try to be there for them and hang out with them, answer their questions, and we appreciate them being here and coaching up these high school kids, and we want to kind of pay it forward to them.
Yeah, and during your career, you were a guy who knew how to win in the big moments. So what advice would you give to these guys, the quarterbacks out here, to win? I mean, you had some big wins in your career.
I think that's just being prepared. So you have opportunities in the fourth quarter. Hey, you know the game plan, you know your plays, and you know what the defense is going to do. So you can go out there and feel confident and play your game and hopefully play your best at critical moments where you're not nervous, you're not scared. You're thinking, hey, this is where we do our best. We're going to be throwing the ball. I want to throw it. We're going to be running our base plays that we run the most. And we should be our best in these situations.
Last question: what was your favorite memory from your career in the NFL?
Oh, too many. Obviously, winning championships is always the goal, always fun, and those seasons that we got to win Super Bowls is really special.
Thank you.
Hi, Eli. Could I ask you a question?
Sure.
I'm Victoria from Syracuse University, and actually, you were on my flight coming down here from
there you go.
Newark.
Perfect.
They're nice taxiing for 2 hours.
Yes, that was awesome.
So I've been a Giants fan from Rockland County.
Oh, yeah.
And it's actually so funny. Growing up, you were neighbors with the Berman family.
Yeah.
Yeah, she played soccer with my sister. So I was like, what a small world. So it's actually surreal to be talking
Yeah.
to you right now. So I was just wondering, what is something that you wish you learned earlier in your career?
I think just when you have the opportunity to be around other whether it's other quarterbacks, other coaches, former players that play the game, just asking them more questions. I think you're hesitant. Hey, I don't want to bother this person, this situation, and then later on you realize, the guys that have been successful in the game of football like talking about football. They like, being a resource for people. And so I love it when these young guys come and ask me questions. We get to talk ball. I feel like I can be helpful. And I wish I would have done that at a younger age and been more willing to go out there, ask more questions, and learn from the guys that have had success.
Now, I have a question. Which Super Bowl win was your favorite?
I think Super Bowl wins are kind of like your kids. You have a favorite, you just don't tell anybody what it is.
That's a fair answer. Now, can you also just, to wrap it up, talk to me about what the Manning Passing Academy means to you?
Well, I think, this is really, kind of about family. We've been doing this for 29 years. It was great yesterday in the introduction that, so many coaches that come down there that have been coming, some for 29 years, some for 27 years. They look forward. It's on their calendar every year, and they get to have that bond with them. Also, just appreciate these new college guys that are coming down here coaching these high school kids, and so it's great coming down to Thibodaux. I get 3-4 days guaranteed with my brothers and my dad, living in a dorm room together, and so it's special and it's fun, and get to talk some football, which is the best part.
Thank you so much, Eli.
Thank you.